What's up, my little wooty woo? I'm finna tell you how Satan has his secret agents in the church. So many of his people attend church, they prophesy, teach, they're in leadership roles, they preach, they look religious and be spiritual. They also dress appropriate for church, you get what I'm saying? A lot of the times they're in their 40s, 50s, 60s, and up. So basically they put on this image so that you wouldn't suspect that they're evil. Some of them tend to pray in tongues, sometimes in demonic tongues. They act like they intercede in prayers for others. But what they will do is seek out to mentor people who have been emotionally hurt and broken in their lives. As they say, these are easy targets. They act like they be touched by the Holy Spirit, but instead they snapping their head back and forth they are snapping their heads back and forth, up and down, cackling like witches because of the Kundalini spirit. They tend to lay hands on people, acting like they pray for them, but instead they're imparting demons to them. They even act like they're doing deliverances. Instead, they give people more demons. These people do not have good intentions in their heart. They are set on destroying God's anointed. They do that through accusations, lies, and gossiping. And they're going to tell it to anybody who will listen. All just to destroy their reputation and effectiveness in the church and their callings. So what they will do is they will accuse those who are actually godly, oppose them, calling them the Jezebel spirit instead. Something like reverse psychology in a sense. But instead, in reality, they are the ones operating in the Jezebel spirit. They playing crazy. They especially accuse women who are more attractive or more beautiful as a Jezebel spirit, as being Jezebel. Why? Because that's who the religious church convinces everyone what a Jezebel spirit looks like. As Satan's workers tend to know that, so they will play on that. They're going to make themselves look more plain and more holy. So what they'll do is they'll tend to wear little to no makeup, and they'll dress in a way that looks like a typical church lady or church man, like the ones from like the 1950s. They tend to be very hard to spot. Why? Because they know all the Christian lingo. They are professional, they're great actors and actresses, and they mostly do this because image is everything to them. But of course, the Lord sees right through these people, as their pride is great. And the Lord knows that these people are sexually impure, from corn, lust, perversion, sex outside of marriage. These people are really selfish and they are really mean. These people have no fruit of the spirit, but lots of their flesh. They will act like an innocent victim if you try to expose them for who they really are. They will also try to stop couples that God is bringing together. They will also triangulate existing godly marriages to try to divide the spouses and turn them against each other so that they will get divorced. They operate in spirits of Jezebel, Leviathan, with strong religious spirits. So sadly, there are so many people that are being forced to leave the church in order to escape from the damage of their lies and gossip to others. So sadly, a lot of these people are actually being forced to leave the church in order to escape from the damage of their lives and gossip to others and getting them to hate on their victims. So a lot of these people are being forced to leave the church because they have to escape the damage of their lies and their gossip that they did to others. A lot of godly people are also leaving the church in order to live a life congruent to the Bible. It's because a lot of people that are in the church are not preaching accurately, saying things that are not true, such as Christians cannot be affected by demons, that they can still sin in the world and God's grace will let them into heaven. These people want to destroy you, stop what God is doing in your life. The lines are blurring between those who appear to be godly and those who are actually your biggest enemy. So how is a person to know who is good and who is bad? The best indicator is to ask God. Sometimes God will give you a dream. Sometimes he will speak to you in your thoughts about the person. Many people who are church attendees who still have wounds in their soul will tend to side with those who are operating and spreading the lies and doing all the evil. It's because they have demons that are in common with them. Birds of a feather flock together. So those demons just team up to go against godly people in order to drive them out the church and stopping the true Holy Spirit from flowing. And usually those who are operating in evil and doing witchcraft will tend to have to leave the churches every couple of years because they are discovered by the pastor. So they have to start over in a new church and work their way up to the leadership roles again. So it's important to understand that the enemy is real and the enemy is in the church. Okay, bye.